e-gaming bets. We accept bets on computer games online since 2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!
Welcome back, everybody, here to DotaPit Season 4 by G2A. We are going into our final, last, no more. This is it. There is no extra Rockstar. We're not reopening in a couple of days' time. This is the final closing down sale for the Southeast Asian qualifier for DotaPit. The winner of this game will be traveling to the LAN finals. That's the position we managed to get ourselves in. I'll give a full 3 points. Mineski giving the #1 position, or will allow MVP Phoenix to hold on to their lead by a grand total of 2 points. Who's it going to go to? Scansaw, tell me. Let me know. Who wins?
Well, I mean, if we were just going on the previous game, Mineski are gigantic favorites. I went and checked. Teams that have a 15,000 net worth lead at 15 minutes have won 99.4% of games of all time in Dota.
Hey, I have to ask this question because Cap was quoting a very similar stat, but he said that no one has ever come back from a 15k at 15-minute advantage. Who was who was the point? What, 0.4%? Do you say, or 0.6%?
Yeah, I don't know, because this is from all time, and it's from the net worth difference graph on DOTA, which is like actually a bit shaky. So it could actually be 100%, considering it says 99.4. It's something I could check probably with Nox's help later on, but I'm not gonna be able to help you with that right now, unfortunately.
I would love to know what team achieved what looks to be the impossible.
The impossible. Yeah. Well, in the draft in this game, Mineski get the slot on the Queen of Pain, which is what they went for last game as well. But the most interesting thing for me, and why I maybe still think MVP are in with a good chance here, is they got that Wisp. And in the previous game, they had to ban the Venge and the Wisp. They were too scared of giving away the Wisp, but they had the first pick this game, so they leave the Wisp in. Mineski don't respect it, and MVP goes straight for it. And obviously Mineski must have anticipated that that's a possibility. They saw the way that MVP's valued the hero. They know it's a hero that the team always goes for. So this game to me now becomes about, did Mineski make the right choice giving the Wisp? Are they going to be punished for letting it through? What's their plan for dealing with it? Will it be a good plan? So far they've got the Disruptor, that's one plan to deal with Wisp. But we've seen more and more in the last year or two that Wisp is not just about relocate, it's also about just powering up heroes, making them fast, making them tanky.
It's definitely true, and Tani needs to be fast. He's very slow with his attack speed the first time he gets into that Aghanim Scepter. The thing I want to see most, however, is how the laning phase works. Because for me, that was MVP's biggest problem. Like they didn't find the synergy in their lanes, or what synergy they did draft, they weren't capable of completing. Like it felt very odd for me. Like I don't feel like MVP came in with a purpose into this game. It's like they just got off a plane, they just got back from WCA, and they just started playing up this game thinking that they could just do the same thing they saw at WCA. Because they basically copied Alliance's draft with one small modification. That's kind of what happened. It wasn't MVP synergy.
Yeah, and you can point very easily to, like, the support Kunkka didn't work because it didn't get online quickly enough. It put some pressure, but the rest of the team was crumbling while it was putting pressure. And the Morphling, like, just... I mean, it's actually a hero that Kyo has played before in the past, but... Okay, forget about what I'm talking about. MVP Phoenix have just picked Earth Spirits, and I don't know if I've seen them run this hero just yet.
I have
so
not
something
seen
else
them
they
run
could be borrowing from WCA.
Check through the stats, man. Check through the stats. I want to see if they
yeah,
even experimented with it, because the only games they played on this patch was
10
WCA.
seconds remaining.
So everything's pretty much limited to that. And that was where Team
5
Liquid played a lot of
seconds
Earth Spirit. I believe the Chinese also dabbled with it, but I don't remember any games from MVP Phoenix that did.
Phoenix's turn to ban.
Yeah, 0 games. 0 games on record of them playing Earth Spirits, and I gotta tell you, this is a hero that, although a lot of pros complain about it, I think there's quite a consensus that if you're not, like, very good at playing the hero, it's actually fine now. We had that chat, remember, and Matt was saying that, oh, this hero shouldn't be in CM, it's gonna be so abused, and from what I've seen, the better players playing it, it still does look a bit ridiculous, but if you haven't fully mastered the hero, it's actually a bit of a weak pick, I think, since they changed that you can't pull people to save them. Because now you need to be executing the aggressive combos, and the damage, to get the full damage out of the hero, you really need to get your execution on point in terms of, like, kicking the rock, pulling it back, throwing your ulti with as many more rocks as you can. Very interested to see. I mean, it's definitely in keeping with my, like, historical prejudice about the kinds of heroes MVP are good at, that they would have a player who would be really good at this hero. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's...
Anti-mage.
We'll see is the best way of looking at this, because right now I'm also looking at MVP's Phoenix draft, where if the Earth Spirit rotation doesn't work, then the domination that Wisp and Tiny gain, be it in the middle lane or be it in the safe lane, needs to be really big. Because the Darkseer is going to get zoned out, potentially even killed off. There's no real stun lockdown from Mineski, from the supports at least. Like, Disruptor can drag him back, he can put up the wall, maybe Darkseer can dodge that. But Mineski have themselves a draft where lane stability is really high, their mid-game fighting is really strong, and their end of mid-game to early late game carry potential is really big. So overall, I'm liking the MVP Phoenix draft. Sorry, the Mineski draft a lot more than MVPs.
It looks more solid right now.
Yeah, it does, and there's less room for error, which I think is even bigger. Where MVP Phoenix, like, you go for a Wisp Tiny up against a Disruptor, things can go horribly, horribly wrong. Same for an Earth Spirit. Yeah. If you don't time your stuff right, it's not going to work. And now we go for an Ember Spirit, which makes me even more concerned. Yes, we're getting more and more combos coming in for MVP Phoenix's draft, but their timing is being pushed back, and potentially running 3 melee core with 1 melee support like, it could put you in a world of hurt as far as laning potential.
Yeah, and also later on fighting up against Undying with all your heroes being melee, it can be punishable, but I think that Ember Spirit is probably the right pick here, just because what they wanted a hero that could potentially scale. They wanted a hero which had to be a core, a farming core, and it needed to give some answer to the Queen of Pain and the Anti-Mage, because before this pick, they were going to have a lot of trouble actually locking down these heroes when they're killing them, when they're ganking them. And actually the chains will do a really good job, I think, there in just chaining down the blinking heroes and forcing them to go for BKB still in this game.
5 seconds remaining.
This... I don't want to see what we saw in the last game. I don't know if you saw, like, my tweet that I put out in the in the break time, but it felt brutal, like testicular pain brutal in game number 1.
It was a massacre. It really was a massacre. It was like, if I didn't know better, I would say, oh, Mineski's playing against some tier 4 team. That's not MVP Phoenix, but I think you're right. I think a big part of why the previous game went the way it did was the lane stage. And I think that even though we both agree Mineski's lineup maybe is more solid here and it's easier to execute, MVP Phoenix don't have a lineup that's it doesn't look to me like a lineup that's gonna collapse in the lane stage. I think we'll get out of the lane stage and both teams will still have some play in the game. And from there we'll see, which is going to be a completely different dynamic to the previous game, where it felt like after the lane stage that was just it. There wasn't any more game.
Agreed. So let's see how it starts. So our laning phase is going to include... Actually, I love the 2 aggressive wards down from Mineski. They've spent some time with this map. There's also a small little battle for vision, which I kind of believe Riola's won here, because with his positioning, with his posturing, he's got to understand that he can't stay here. He can't fight for this rune. A little bit of support from the Undying, maybe it would be possible. Like the Iron Shell over on the Earth Spirit, but Vash already got a 2-man decay, so they'll just be happy at grabbing the rune, which will give Febby an earlier bottle. But the battle which happened on bottom lane is for this Observer Wall, which got placed down by Mineski. This was between the early moving Earth Spirit as well as the early TP out from Riola. So he got his ward down without MVP seeing where he put it. Even after he dropped it, they didn't get vision on very quickly. So he's already got the vision, the bottom lane, to understand what he's up against. And then Mineski put an Observer Ward up on the top lane, so they understand how much support is here on QO, and also ensures too, once Jules gets that level 2 or perhaps level 3 glimpse, they'll be able to drag back a long way because their vision is unobstructed on that top lane. So I'm liking the start from Mineski, but overall, the CS is going the way of MVP right now.
Denied.
Yeah, and again, they start Cure in the off lane. They'll probably switch reasonably early once Doxy's got a couple of levels, like they did last game. And this is something impressive about MVP to me. It's always they've always felt like different to other. There's actually going to be a wraparound. Cure is going to be targeted here in top lane.
Ooh, this is problematic. Vash comes in with a decay. Hits pretty hard. QO is very low. The blink forward from Cuckoo just helps Vash get the last punch in, and first blood goes the way of Mineski.
Yeah, do they switch right now? This is what happened last time.
Yeah, they
switch right now. It's like the sign. As soon as Q is dead, he's going back. And this is something I want to say. Something impressive about MVP and the Korean teams in general is that they've shown, even though they fit into the SEA style a bit, they kind of fit everywhere as well. They borrow from whoever they like, and this is something that Team Secret and European teams started with the send your safe lane farmers to off lane, your off lane to safe lane, and switch around. And these kinds of things are reasons why I think MVP end up doing well, because they can borrow the best parts of each playstyle. Unfortunately, like we saw in the previous game, it doesn't happen overnight. You can't just like, oh, copy something someone did and immediately be amazing at it. You have to learn to perfect it.
You have to understand the rhythm. Like you put it perfectly during the first game. Like MVP are a team that will just keep running at you. They'll keep fighting. They want to draft a lineup that will just be able to contest you in every single lane at every single time. Problem is that when you draft a lineup which is meant to do the exact opposite, which is what happened in game number 1. It just it wasn't the thing.
Yeah, no, it didn't work at all. Ember Spirit versus Slaughter is a very interesting dynamic. It's mid lane, they're actually going to try and dive this Queen of Pain.
Well, she's got Blink available. The rock's going to hit it, but she blinks away in time. A quick bottle up. Febby with a haste runes trying to go for it. A little bit of damage from the tower as well as the Shadow Strike, so he won't be able to finish the job.
Yeah, I think there was a minor stack there of the Earth Spirit stun and the Tiny stun, and again, that's something that you have to work on with the Earth Spirit, but almost comboed off, almost made the kill. What I want to say about the bot lane while Undying is actually hiding on the side here, Ember Spirit versus Slaughter, there's a very interesting dynamic where Slaughter has no way to take off Ember Spirit's shield, which usually is a sign that Ember Spirit gets good value in the lane, but at the same time, the Stomp is going to go straight through the shield. Or if he hits it, that is, and he misses that one. Kyo doing well to pull back.
He just got the range on the crush. It's a Searing Chains mechanic where he's able to get the space, which is good for him.
Denied.
Oh, Anti-Mage is getting the farm he wants at the start of this game. And that's certainly a part of Mineski's plan. It's an interesting thing because for the first 4 picks of Mineski's draft, it looked a lot like a super aggressive, we're going to just fight and snowball like last game draft. And then they picked up the Anti-Mage, which kind of like allows them to have that option to go back, but still they want the early pressure.
QO, this is... You move him off the lane and then you lose him straight away. There's no mana available, so this Crush will be able to connect because QO doesn't have any Searing Chains to break free. At least he has a PMS block, and Fabi's going to give as much regeneration as possible. Vash is able to hit the double decay, and Fabi just postures to get QO off the lane. But this is the downside about running QO on the off lane to start with and then rotating him down. Yes, for Rev's able to now to spam out some Iron Shells up against Cuckoo, but Cuckoo's got enough space to farm up his ring that he'll be able to regenerate anyway and stay in the lane, and QO will never be able to keep up with him. Middle lane, Reggie Potato, he could just blink for this. No, Fabi's in the neighborhood, he's not going to go.
They went for a kill on the Anti-Mage at the top lane as well, but couldn't quite do it before he blinked out. And I gotta say, both these games, it's a lot on Dubu, actually, what's happening to QO, because it's natural for Fabi to be helping out solo rank warrior, that's like what he does. It's natural for Rev to be on his own in the off lane. Dubu's been roaming, and the Kunkka and now in the Earth Spirit, and if Kyo is struggling on his own, like that's the trade-off. You got to get value out of the roam from Dubu if he's not helping the Ember Spirit.
While he's not helping, this Slider's getting bigger and bigger. I can't believe how much space he's got because Kyo went for that run away from the rest of Mineski and took a while to get back into the lane. It's just been this real problem that no one's contesting the Slider. Soon you'll have amplification off. Dubu tried to just slide himself in with a rock by the looks of it on top of Queen of Pain, but just missing the timing. Raging Potato still enjoying his moment. Cuckoo gonna blink himself off that top lane. Care of the Iron Shell. But Mineski are doing great jobs of, like, they're stacking up this camp on the side of the top lane. Forev really wants and needs to farm this. Like, even if he's got an Iron Shell into the camp, he should go for it. Jules, he leveled up a second point up in Glimpse. This is when that Observer Ward's gonna kick into play. He easily sees Forev. He's gonna try and surge himself away, and actually I say try, he will succeed. So great for him.
Dubu's finally moved in to reinforce Cure.
It feels like he's just a bottle runner right now. The regeneration didn't last long enough, so there's only 2 bottle charges on Kyo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dubu is the draft of this team as well, and obviously the team has faith in him, but he's drafted himself into, like, unusual roamy support heroes 2 games in a row. And even though a lot of his kill attempts were, like, almost kills both games early on, the fact that they're not kills is actually very damaging. Like, they need to be kills to justify leaving Kyo on his own all this time. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's a very different story to the previous game. It's not like, okay, lane stage is going badly for MVP, they lost the game.
Oh,
it's like they're a bit behind.
This isn't the dream for Forev. He surges first this time around. Cuckoo's going to try and body block him. He's still got the Mana Void available, so they need a little bit more damage. And with the Blink Ball, Cuckoo, you're committing too heavily. The Talon's going to get the kill as well as Febby. Cuckoo's so low, 25 life, the Wisp Spirits. The balls try and slap the Anti-Mage, and 2 will hit. The third will not. The Blink in 1 second. The third's able to connect. Febby will lose his life, but he will take the Anti-Mage with him. So that is one upside. Well, he should take the Anti-Mage with him. Yep, there we go. There is your Scream. There's a little bit of support coming in from Solo Rank Warrior, and from the side picks up Disruptor. Raging Potato with a Blink Stream forward, however, will pick up his own double kill, grabbing that Darkseer again, but a worthwhile trade for MVP. Are they actually going more? Okay, so bottom lane, Ember kills off the Slider. The Undying minions won't chase a Soul Rip from the Undying. I don't think he believes that's going to be enough damage until he gets Soul. Yes, I'm really not sure about that trade-off. Either way, the scoreboard is finally leveled up at 4 apiece on across the map.
Yeah, and I would say this is much more in MVP's comfort zone than the previous game. Like, they're still a bit behind. They're not getting the best of the trades, but the trades are trades. They're not. It's not just one-way traffic.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I can see Forev. They're coming down. So the idea is just to glimpse him back, and then directly into the crush in the wall of Slaughter. You even hit into the camp, which is going to allow them to deny up that dire creep wave and drag the wave back again.
Well, Queen of Pain being... no, they're not going to be able to do anything to her.
Tani can't get there in time. I'm interested to see if Solo Rank Warrior wants to go for the Blink Dagger first. He's going to get really depressed as he lost the top rune as well. But yeah,
I think he will in this game.
Do you think he actually needs to, or should it still be that whole timing attack with the Aghanim Scepter instead?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't think he goes straight Ags either way. Like, if he doesn't go for the Blink, he's probably going to go for the Drum. I think Cure, actually, when he plays Tiny for MVP, usually goes for the Drum. I think he really likes the Drum. But I think Solo Rank Warrior might need to go for the Blink in this game because, as I said before, they're limited in means of catch early on. And so in order to actually make kills, in order to be able to threat to the heroes that can Blink, I think you maybe need your own Blink, but we'll see soon enough.
Raging Potato comes to the top lane. They've still got their Observer Ward down, so they see what's up with Forev. Forev doesn't see them, however, as now he'll back out of the top lane anyway. A little uncertain about things. Blink. No, not even a Blink, it's just a basic crush. Kyo didn't have a Spirit down. But we had a Searing Chains, 2 of them, but Vash, like, if times get rough, he's still got that 1 point up in Soul Rip. So he can give life back pretty quickly. They brought in the Tiny, so Tiny making his way towards QO, and now Avalanche tossed that Soul Rip. Vash was too far away. He backed up into the tree line for some reason.
Yeah, right before that, Cure actually baited out the Slithering Crash. He knew he had a Spirit up, so he was just being cheeky. And I think it's his victory, actually. He kept Real interested, baited out the Crash misses, and this is a rivalry that's been around for a long time. If you remember, Real was actually playing for Rave back when it was like, SEO was all MVP versus Rave. So these players know each other, and I think there's a little bit of a like, mini joust in that little sequence of events, which Cure comes out on top of.
It's the duel, man. Oh! Cure! Quickly out to the Spirit. Real's coming down though, they'll drop down the Spirit and they're waiting. Like, you've got a Spirit down the tree line, so they have to try and zone him out, but Vash, he's gonna lose his life. The Soul Rip up as well as the one charges. Raging Potato still waiting for him to Spirit jump, so he'll Spirit up, down, and into the waiting arms of the Slaughter. That looked very difficult for Mineski, but they still played it perfect.
This time Real won the duel, and it's like, I mean, just look at that. He goes and waits at the Spirit, and you're thinking like, is this going to cost his team? His Undying might die, but it turns out that was exactly what he needed to do. Makes the kill, his teammate lives, and like some pretty technical plays being made on both sides. Yeah, it's nice. It's very impressive.
It's got to keep it up right now. Mineski, there's still 1,000 net worth in front as well as experience. So things are going their way for the time being.
There's the tiny blink.
And goes straight away using it. Going to toss him back. Blink was on cooldown for the Queen of Pain. They would have had time to punch him twice with the tiny as well as let all those spirits hit him. That could have potentially been a kill.
Yeah, it's super important, I think, to have the blink on tiny this game. And they've actually got the relocate up. Looks like they're looking for somewhere to possibly go. But it's nobody's safe now. If he doesn't go blink, they can feel a lot safer farming. That's what Mineski want to do for a little while, especially on the anti-mage. With the blink on the tiny, everyone needs to be careful all the time, and it looks like their version of careful is just constantly pressure Cure. They're tired of his antics.
Syrian Chainsman on bottom lane. A lot of supporters down here in QO. Well, here comes here. Relocate, Disruptor hold. He will pop the avalanche toss. Real's getting attacked pretty heavily. He is going to go down. The question is, how's this story end? With Earthspirit coming in for the double stun, he's going for another one. In fact, they're all going to get silenced up. Jules trying to pull Kuro out, but he's still able to spirit himself back into the fight. MVP will take out 2 players from Mineski. Vash, damn, that's such crap ability. Magnetized from Dupu, causing real issues for Mineski during that fight. Not to mention...
Yeah, damage up.
Okay.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I feel like the big difference so far in this game is that Cure is not completely irrelevant. His Morphling was just like, yeah, Morphling's got like some tricky things it can do, but it doesn't kill you in the process. Oh, Jay actually comes back, finds Solar Rank Warrior. Cure is not going to get caught as well, and he doesn't have a Spirit.
Yeah, they got Sonic Wave up as well, but Raging Potato! Dubu was able to get the perfect stun timing. So the Earth Spirit teaming up with his brother, and they're able to get the kill on the Queen of Pain. She really wasn't ready for that.
The difference is, like, if you play Morphling, there's a lot of ways you can, like, juke the enemy team, stop them from killing you, but you don't kill them in the process, whereas Ember Spirit's like, they make one wrong move and actually they die as well. And Cure's definitely made the most of that this game.
Rio, more trouble for him. Searing Chains, Vash gonna try and keep him alive, but Soul Rip only on cooldown, but Rio had him buy a little bit more space. Just by having those one charges of his, runs himself out. Top lane, they're going to Iron Shell up on the Tiny. You don't see it visually, but it most definitely is there.
Yeah, Anti-Mage dies if he gets caught here, like 100%. I think he probably dies to the Blink stun toss, even without the Iron Shell, because he's not on full HP. So we'll see if he just ducks into the trees and just waits for long enough. If he comes out, if he pokes his head out and they see him, he's a goner.
Wait for that perfect time. As MVP will get rid of their lag. Solar Rank Warrior is waiting for it. Jules is the one rotating up, but he's going to go the long way around, so not next to the Tiny. But they're still picking out his position, and yep, Solar Rank Warrior walks directly into it, and the Tiny will be able to get himself a free pick-off. It's something for his rotation.
And they actually, there's no hero on the side of Mineski that can like, okay, it's your job to counteract the Tiny's rotations with his blink. They actually can't control him. They need to just avoid his combos, because if he gets onto someone, they're gonna die. And Slaughter, maybe if he had blink, could like run sort of like counter plays, but doesn't have it yet, not even close to it.
He's going to have help though. Raging Potato's moving over. And QO, with the amplification on him, Queen of Pain could potentially just blink and Sonic Wave. Yup! Raging Potato gives no craps. Instant TP out, but Dubu's going to stop it. Popping down the rocks. And Raging Potato needs a little bit of help. He can't blink for 2 more seconds, and in fact, he is going to go down. The Darkseer dies in the meantime up on the top lane, so the Anti-Mage as well as Disruptor combine together. That'll actually complete the Battle Fury now for Cuckoo, thanks to that kill.
Yeah, so Cuckoo's playing a good game, being careful not to get picked off. Getting there, but gonna need a lot more help, I think. Gonna need a lot more space, and the Queen of Pain is sort of the only one that can be creating that space right now, and it's a difficult game for her because she's playing with fire. There's a lot of, the Ember Spirit can chain her, the Earth Spirit can stun or silence her, the Tiny can combo her. There's a lot of ways Queen of Pain could be trying to make space and it can backfire and she can go down.
It could be a lot easier for her once she's got that Orchid. Like we saw how much control it gave during the last game, even though they had a lot of it. But up against heroes like the Ember Spirit, who naturally don't want to be building into PKBs or Mana Styles to break free of it, should be able to inflict a damage and not get controlled. Same for the Darkseer. Maybe once you got Greaves, you'd be happier with life, but Tiny, you don't want to go BKB as your first major item behind your Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it's maybe it'll be that no-tail butterfly.
QO, there's your Syrian change. Raging Potato's just gonna wait through this. Blink 1 second, but he's silenced up. Magnetize had to be committed for that one, but they get the kill. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, a crush from Slana, able to help out. Feb, he did skewer tether himself forward. With the Undying Tombstone down, it's very difficult to run away, but you've got this wonderful thing called Relocate, which will do it for you. It does leave Solo Rank Warrior by himself on the bottom lane. No one's TPing down there to help him just yet. It looks like he actually doesn't require it.
Try kill the Wisp. Wow, nearly actually kills Slaughter in the process.
If it wasn't for the one charges, he would be dead.
But yeah, it's Queen of Pain is actually such an important hero for them to be killing. Slow down her Orchid, slow down her ability to control the game, because even if Anti-Mage farms in the process while they take down the Queen of Pain, the Anti-Mage is going to pay for it later. Because once they start targeting him, if the Queen of Pain's not able to, like, you know, contribute to controlling them, or she's actually been chained again, yeah.
Yeah, she's in real trouble. Vash got the Soul Rip available, gonna try and decay, but again, this stun control from MVP is just too good.
These are Spirit heroes, they're all counter Queen of Pain. It used to be the Storm Spirit rolling onto it, the Ember Spirit, the Earth Spirit. They're her worst nightmare.
I'm waiting to see a lineup where you're able to run an Ember off lane, a Tiny Wisp mid, the Ember Spirit support, and then a Storm Spirit safe lane. You get the entire Spirit Brother lineup. Obviously, Storm Spirit's deep right now though. Bosh, dead. This is MVP finally. They're getting momentum. They're getting damage out with a double damage from Ember. It made very short work of Vash. And now the tier 1 tower mid lane will also fall.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, really the difference, there's very clear differences from the draft between this game and the last game. The one is that MVP got their Wisp that they're so comfortable playing with. Or there might be some action at the top lane. No, I don't think so. The one is they got the Wisp. The other is that Cure's playing Ember Spirit, also much more comfortable than Morphling. Then there's Dubu on the Earth Spirit, which is just way less limited than Kuka in its early game impact. So MVP able to play their game much more naturally with the heroes they have. And again, like we said in the previous game, it looks like they were trying different heroes. Well, Rio actually dodges the avalanche. But
yeah, but he's still dead. These Whispers should finish the job. One charges, the Spirits won't reach him. The Soul Root from Vash will try and keep him alive, and now Mineski are caught on all three sides. QO is still coming back yet again. He's got a Spirit commit to 1, dodge the stun, and 2, get the kill over on the Slana, who overstayed his welcome. The Sonic Wave arrives from Raging Potato, but really, the damage is minimal. Even the Disruptor ulti is not controlling up enough. Raging Potato try and play around that silence, but unable to do so. And now 3 players down for Mineski. They had the greatest game they could have asked for in game number 1, but right now, the MVP momentum is starting to look unstoppable.
Under attack.
Yeah, and like the only plus side for Mineski is that Anti-Mage is getting space all the time. He's getting a lot of creeps. I mean, his net worth is still behind Tiny's actually. And the problem is that, you know, if he was getting a lot of space to the point that, like, okay, he has a Manta Star right now, great. That's actually probably worth it for Mineski. But he doesn't have a Manta Star. He's almost got a Vlad's. And then he's going to have to farm the whole Manta Star. And that's the problem, I feel like, with the other heroes of Mineski being pressured, with Slardar never getting to, well, taking really long to get to Blink, and Quap taking really long to get to Orchid. Once the pressure gets pointed towards the anti-mage, there's not going to be anyone to help.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm kind of surprised yet not surprised at Solo Rank Warrior's build here, where he bypassed the Aghanim Scepter. He went in instead to get the Assault Cuirass. He's 600 gold away from completing it, but he had the money for the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, that is interesting actually. I guess it's improves the damage of the Ember Spirit as well, and helps them in what it looks like what wants to be some kind of snowboily. They're gonna go and take objectives reasonably soon.
It's nice up against the Slardar as well. But you've got now like your armor as well as you're starting to get levels up in Cragley. 5-man smoke by Mineski. With the Slardar, they've got to go in for Roshan. That's got to be this play. You finish up the Vlads, you amplify up, you don't commit everyone in there, however. But the ping's already coming from MVP. They know what's going on. Farev surging himself forward. Might try and go for the back right now. Dubu needs to try and split up the fight a little bit, but the Disruptor ulti is perfect. Farev's got nowhere to run. They'll mech charge up, but it's not enough life to survive, so Dubu going to get glimpsed back and crushed. Mineski, great play by them, but now QO's arrived as well as Solo Rank. He's going to go in and beating into the Undying. They look for Mordecai, another great crush. Febby is now going to take a fall as well, but QO still burning him with a Slider Fist and Searing Chains, but QO is getting done out, and the Sonic Wave. MVP lose everything. They ball back on their Earth Spirit, but it's really all too late. Mineski have already taken the fight. Now they just have to survive long enough to finish up Roshan without the Earth Spirit causing problems. And he could cause a lot of problems. There's a lot of rocks! Oh no! Where's the badge from Roshan also on the Cuckoo? They brought down one. Dubu's going to go again. He's lining up the rocks to just pepper them down. There we go. Roshan will go the way of the anti-mage, and Dubu being orchided up by the Queen of Pain. He will not be able to contest the main event himself. Just get the pick on the Undying.
The fight gets won by Mineski purely positionally. It's that advantage of, well, people don't talk about that much when they talk about rush pit advantage. When you're inside the rush pit, the enemy team can't see you, and the chances are you can see them. And so MVP like know the rush is going on, but as they approach, the informational advantage is all on Mineski's side. They can decide which hero initiates on which hero, who to lock down, who to control. And Disruptor ulti just does too much work at the start of the fight. I think Darkseer got basically nothing off.
Yeah, he died straight away. Like he surged himself in and then got blink crushed. Then he's gone. And right now they want to do the same thing again. QO with a blink, they're able to get the Orchid off. Defense Spirit or not. The bash is arriving in from Slardar at the perfect time. There's so much damage, and QO's on the sidelines for 50 seconds. He doesn't have the full battle fury done. He's got nothing to do on the map.
They pretty much undid all of the hard work MVP did all game. I was talking about how the Queen of Pain and the Slardar are behind in their farm, behind in their progression. They can't help the anti-mage, but with that fight and with the rush kill, all of a sudden Queen of Pain finished Orchid. She had finished it before. She's got almost an entire BKB. Slardar's got almost the entire 4-star. So they're one item. They've caught up one item. They were behind by about half an item. And now it's kind of advantage Mineski again because it's QO who's behind. That's who needs to catch up.
About to rock down the anti-mage. Dubu's not going to commit much more than that, however. Also doesn't want to reveal out too much as they weren't preparing to fight. In fact, that's exactly what they do. Tiny, well, you're a little bit out of position there. Dubu's going to try and come in and help. Might be a magnetized moment when the Vac gets a big wall out Mineski. Solar Rank's still alive. He one-charges. He's actually living through this, running away from the Tombstone. With the help of Febby, he'll survive. Cuckoo again getting hit by the rocks of Dubu, and QO will come and join the fight. With the Tombstone down, MVP actually have a really good chance to win this fight hands down, and they're looking for Jules. They're going to find him, but they can't stun him in time. So Mineski losing their Slardar as well as the Undying was never part of the plan, but they still took out the top tower. The Anti-Mage had the Aegis burn, sure. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for them.
I mean, if this fight happened before the rush fight, it would be like MVP pushing for Axe pretty much.
Balance Spirit, able to get the initial stun.
If this kind of fight happened before the rush fight happened, I think it's MVP just goes straight onto Rax. I don't know if they do now, because there's slightly more items. I wouldn't be that surprised, to be honest. It is MVP after all. Not really friends of going back. They like going forward.
The Observer Ward inside the base. They'll toss the Slider back out. He'll still get himself a double cross, but Vosh also being searing chained up. Rio's on the run out of here. The Urn Charge is ticking him down. And Aya's going to finish the job. Mineski have no Slider for 50 seconds. This is top Rax.
Yeah, it's all Queen of Pain. Antimage doesn't have Mantis Star yet. He's not ready to fight. I mean, he's very close. Actually, he's about to finish it. They might come fight.
KB from Quamp. She's going to Sonic Wave. QO. He has so many one charges built up. There's no problem at all. And they bring down the Disruptor. He'll have no influence in this fight whatsoever. And Cuckoo getting hit by more flying boulders. Be careful of pebbles. He'll move back to base.
That was the whole play. He like finished his Manta, TP'd home, and then blinked in, Manta, and his images just died instantly. And now he's off to farm again. That's the Raxus going down, and it's so interesting actually. The rush fight looked to like turn around the momentum substantially. And MVP again in classic MVP style, they're like, okay, we had a bad fight. The way we're gonna undo this is by having a good fight. From there, they just it's as if that bad fight never happened. They're back to where they were. We can talk about MVP having control of the game and Mineski trying to catch up.
Mineski, how much are they going to catch up? You actually look at the goal graph and watch the swing up and down. There was a 7.5k shift, and now MVP shifted it back again after they managed to gain that advantage. The experience has nothing in it. QO is the man who's currently being hunted. With the Dire Observer,
like
they can see him. He's going to slide a fist. He actually attacks the Animage with it. But Raging Potato has an Invis Rune, so he can Orc it right now. Tiny's moving over as well. With the Mana Void, it's not enough damage. Soul Rank Warrior arrives at the perfect time. Queen of Pain, so low, but she'll be able to walk out. Cuckoo will not be so lucky, however. Are they going to try and relocate for some kind of magical play? There's the glass TP out, but that was the Undying going to work, and they're pinging correctly. They understand where Raging Potato is going. They feel like they know where he is. They're relocating down with a Spirit Jump. He's going to get BK beat, but there was no TP. It was on cooldown for that time. So both Queen of Pain as well as Animage on the sidelines. This is probably your remaining tier 2 towers on the map going down.
There's this amazing thing about the way MVP plays and the way QO plays. He's always pushing aggressively. He's always like putting himself out there where he could get caught. And one of the advantages, like sure, we've seen him get caught a few times this game, but MVP basically knew. Mineski's off the map. They're trying to do something. They want to make a play to get back into the game. They're probably smoking, and you know they're going for QO. And the rest of the team sort of gradually heads towards him, assuming, yeah, this probably made a gank in. And they're exactly right. It's just too predictable at that point. And that's the hero that you're trying to gank every time.
I love how all this Rax pushing has also been set up. Like, the timing for this one's a little bit easier. If the fortification would have gone on top lane anyway. Okay, Blink Rush by Rio. Come back to it in a moment as now Slider Fist. They control the Slider perfectly. They push him back. He won't go down, however. The Urn is not doing enough damage, but MVP, remember why they came here. They have that Darkseer wall down, making it difficult for Mineski to initiate. In fact, Undying getting caught by Slider Fist Searing Chain. Do they back out? No. There was a blink forward looking for the attack onto Jules. But he's also burned his ultimate. QO, okay, they're going to glimpse back into Tiny, but really Tiny wants to be here. The Mana Void damage is very minimal. I think one charge at the last moment is to blame for that one. QO is now going to buy back and just go straight back to his Spirit. The BKB will protect Raging Potato as Forev, just dodging left and right. The Sonic Wave actually killing off the Tiny. He's also got buyback available if they want to try and grab him. Potentially they could use relocate for it. But right now, Femi, he may not be alive long enough to do that. But the fact, dragging Vash as well as Cuckoo up to the high ground. There goes your relocate. And Dubu, you have to ball himself away. QO is still here, cannot afford to die, especially after this dieback. But Forev trying to cause chaos. We've already got the Tombstone back up again. Cuckoo blinks down to TP away. And the Tiny did buy back to come into this fight with the back of that relocate. Slider running away. He's going to 4-staff up. Just look at him deep enough inside the base. He will be able to outrun the Tiny. And this is going to be it.
He kills the Raxus. I mean, Tiny and Ember Spirit both brought back. This is like super risky actually. They got to get something for this.
They might be able to. The creep wave's still pushing in while Mineski are regenerating, but yeah, they haven't done enough damage. They still never got rid of this Dire Observer Ward, so they're being watched. Every movement is being watched.
The decision is that what they're getting for the buybacks is to just play safe and not have them die, because a dieback would be really the worst thing. And it's actually a BKB being rushed out now for Soda Rank Warrior, but I think what's decisive in that fight is that Forev got himself a bit too kited. after the first wall and vacuum, he couldn't get a second vacuum off for the entire fight. I watched him for the whole fight. He had vacuum ready. First he got kited by Queen of Pain, like from I don't know, over here. He had to run all the way across, and then he tried to go in through the base. And there was an Undying just standing hitting him, so he couldn't blink.
Mineski jump forward, they go for Fairby, the avalanche toss with the sleight of fist. It's some decent damage now for Rev with the back wall. They caught out a lot, but QO needs to go for another sleight of fist. Silenced up for the moment, but now he'll get it off. No combo with the Searing Chains, in fact he saves that one. Locking Cuckoo in position, but he may not get out of this one scot-free. The damage output, they were looking for the Mana Void to help get the kill, but really, this the last swing was going to do it. The Earth Spirit also showing himself too, but just trying to get the hell out of here. Reggie Potato actually stopping running for a moment. And now back out. It's a good reason too. Roshan is up and they know there's no Ember Spirit for a minute.
The game swung back to Mineski. This game, like, such gigantic swings we've seen back and forth. I mean, I'm not even talking about the gold or experience, just the flow of the game. Like, each time one team looks like, okay, they've taken control, and then the other team pulls out a fight. But as I was saying with the action breakouts, I think the fight with Bot-Rax is just, unfortunately for Ev, has had a great game so far. In that one fight, couldn't get the vacuum he wanted. I mean, Jesse Vash did really well in Undying. He literally walked up to Darkstone and was just punching him, so he couldn't blink in.
MVP's too late. Roshan's gonna be done by the time they get there.
Roshan has fallen.
Dude, we could have hoped for a hope. He's gonna throw the rock in just in case anyone's hovering around. But he is definitely not. Very smart TP's out.
Backdoor.
Yeah, but this Whisper's a BKB! He won't get crushed. What is this?
And Tiny's about to have one too. So that's something. But I would say this game is now shaping up to be quite appropriate for a game that decides which one of these teams is going to land. And I think we're getting the game we deserve for that.
I can't believe we're still having like 8k swings in the experience. The gold swing hasn't been a full 8k. But still MVP, we have to remember they've also got a huge advantage. One, they're running Tiny Wisp, and two, in conjunction with that, they've taken out the top racks. So without this top racks, they can still play that split push game. You relocate in when the fortification is down. You beat the crap out of the racks. But you have to keep that top lane pushed in slightly so that when it hits the edge, you can just go for it. So there's no backdoor regen to stop you. Right now, Forever is probably dead. Oh, he's surging himself away.
In terms of actually...
No, he's definitely dead. Blink up, there's your Orchid. The Blink Crush, okay, that's well out of position, but they're still going to glimpse him back into the ulti of Jules. There's another Dire Observer Ward deeper in the lane, and he knew it. The gem is down, and now, in fact, they're going to relocate in with the BKB's QO, looking for the Sleight of Fist damage. Disrupt the has died, but Raging Potato still wants to kill him, Febby. He can't get it. The BKBs are protecting him. This Tombstone from Vash still has not gone down yet, so Cuckoo comes back into the fight, tries to make more of himself, just helping that Sleight of Fist from QO, however. Helping to kill up the Queen of Pain is actually Slaughter, who now brings down the Earth Spirit, moves over to QO. The toss from Tiny. He's just beaten through Mineski. They've lost 4 heroes. One of them about to be reincarnated again as the blink up from Cuckoo goes into the lane. Forever wants to chase it. And if he guesses correctly, he can vac in 2 seconds, 1 second time. They might guess for the secondary blink, but then again, they may not care. Remember what they're here for. They've got to push the Raxes.
Queen of Pain and Slaughter... Okay, Slaughter's got buyback. Queen of Pain does not. So if they were to make a move on... I don't think they actually can make a move on the objective. They just try run into the base of the bot lane with the top creeps.
They might get an objective. Okay, maybe not. Cuckoo TP'd into the tier 2 tower. I thought for a moment MVP would see him and initiate. And instead he's just here to farm.
Yeah, the one thing I'm not sure about is Cuckoo is going for that Abyssal Blade, because I think he needs a BKB. I really think he needs a BKB. There's so much control for him. There's AoE to wipe his images, and then when he doesn't have the Aegis, I think he's very vulnerable. Like, Queen of Pain has a BKB. She's actually very difficult to kill now. Really, the reason MVP won that fight is because they just used so much to kill Darkseer, who was the one core on the side of MVP that still had buyback. So you use all your spells, use all your ultis, you kill the Darkseer, and he comes straight back into the fight, and suddenly, like, you're fighting with a huge disadvantage.
I'm kind of okay with it if it's just a casual basher. Primarily because of the time when he picked it up, Mineski were having the lead. Like, the swing was going their way at that time. So it made sense at that point of the game. But I definitely agree with you. Like, BKB is a must-have item for Cuckoo. But you could also, if he got it that early on, he could be in the same position as the Queen of Pain. Like, you're down to a 5-second duration on the BKB of Ragey Potato. Having that longer duration later into the game may be a better thing for him. Same for the Slider, who's probably going for a BKB as his next major item.
Feels like it was only like 10 minutes ago that she got her BKB, and she's just worn it down so quickly because it's been constant fighting. It just tells you about how the game's been going.
I'm kind of surprised too that Febby ended up building into a BKB. The item I thought he would probably choose would be something more like a Lotus Orb. The ability to have the Dispel as well as just the natural armor you get from it. But now he's building into a Vladimir's, if I'm judging by that ring, just to buff up the Tiny.
I mean, he's just trying to be difficult to burst down. I mean, part of the reason you get BKB is if you relocate in, Disruptor can't just glimpse you out. That's one thing. But it's also, a lot of people, the approach to dealing with the Wisp is you burst down the Wisp and then it can't make the hero's tethering stronger. But this Wisp is actually just such a pain to deal with.
Can you actually Lotus Orb, like, to take off Lotus, use the Lotus Orb to take off Glimpse?
I doubt it. I don't think you can. I mean, because most other things interact with Glimpse, the Glimpse still goes. Like, if you use yourself or Shadow Demon disrupts you, anything like that.
Yeah, true.
It just kind of pushes you through it.
Just one of those things. I was just wondering in my mind. Because then you'll be able to solve that problem as well.
The Q has also finished a Manta Star, which I think is pretty significant. The Amp Damage and the Orchid have both been controlling him quite substantially this game.
So
means he doesn't have that crazy burst damage from the Daedalus, but his team's not lacking in damage.
Mineski, they smoke up. They're going to come in. Kuro and Solar Rank Warrior, they're going to try and switch themselves out. Kuro instantly caught the Disruptor ulti. He wants to try and break free with the Mana Star, but the Sonic Wave, they're going to burn through his life, but he gets the Spirit away. He's actually out to the bottom lane, meaning that Mineski's initiation will end up failing. The BKB was protecting the Tiny, but Kuro straight back to farming up. And he's going to TP back to base.
They couldn't find the real cure quickly enough. Like the use of the Manta Star, not what I was talking about before, but he managed to get it off, and it just bought him that much little amount of time that he could jump out to his remnant.
And VP are about to fight. They throw the Sentry Ward up. Hate to say it to Dubu, but he's trying to bait someone to come forward, but Cuckoo's going to do it. But he BKB'd up the Mana Void. Spills out quite heavily to damage QO. They've got a bash. They've got the kill on the Tiny. Mineski, this is a huge success of a defense. They can see where Febby is tethering to, so they just got to chase it. But the Rock.
Dire's middle tower is under
and the chase is done. They'll kill off the Wisp when he comes back with the relocate. But that's going to be all she wrote. He's actually going to he's BKB, tethering, and TPing. It was worth a try.
Yeah, that's nice little move, but I think now this game becomes MVP trying to win by ratting. That's I think, and that's what they wanted in the previous game. Now they get into a more reasonable situation, because I think that now that Anti-Mage is that BKB, Queen of Pen is the BKB, like just based on the pickups on Mineski, right now MVP should not be winning a team fight. They shouldn't. They should be, if Anti-Mage and Queen of Pen get their BKBs off, that should be enough for them to win the fight. So, I don't know, maybe MVP come up with a creative way to take control of the fight. They can't really fight into those BKBs. They're just not strong enough.
It's the push top lane and then relocate in the Wisp Tiny when fortifications down. Like, that's the play. Tiny's got to finish his Aghanim Scepter before they can do it, but once they've done it, Mineski can't leave their base out of fear of losing it. And they don't have great wave clear. Like the Anti-Mage is the only one with good wave clear.
The good news for MVP is that even though they've been trying to close out the game, they are under no pressure to close out the game. They're not, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to outscale. Ember Spirit and Tiny have so much more to grow, so much stronger to get, so much more damage to get, and like Anti-Mage is sort of peaking right now, and he's not going to get a whole lot stronger. Sure, he'll finish his Whistle Blade, but that'll be about it. Maybe he'll replace his Vlads. So yeah, MVP have been trying to finish the game, but if they want to sit back, split push, control the game, get a lot more farm, that's actually going to be fine for them, I think.
Look for the relocate. Kiro brings the pressure up top, and then they can just take the range racks. As if they want to. Fabi's in the neighborhood. They might be a little bit worried they'll just die and then get isolated, then lose the game. It could be a bit of a problem in the back of their mind. And Tani still doesn't have that Aghanim Scepter yet.
Yeah, it's the decision. It's actually very interesting because there's MVP that it's kind of their nature to just go for the players. But at the same time, I'm wondering if they're thinking about now, like, okay, maybe we should slow it down. Because as I said, they can. They definitely can. It's up to them to do that. Well, Dubu's actually got that Aghanim Scepter, which, okay. Yeah. So if Mineski ever tried to push, they're not going to succeed because Dubu's going to make someone into rock and push them halfway into his base. That's scary.
That's a quick Roshan spawn. That's a real quick Roshan spawn. Mineski used the Courier to scout it out, but now they see he's up. They cannot allow MVP to take this, but again, this is exactly what MVP should be doing. QO forces out the top lane. Doesn't have to be there for too long. Defends the other lanes. And now Mineski okay, they're quick enough. I was actually worried they would need more people to do this, but they have enough damage that they get that Aegis the Immortal into the hands of Cuckoo. And he drops his Vladimir's offering to hold on to it.
I think, unfortunately, it doesn't really help Mineski in terms of the dynamic of the game. Like, they need to get pickoffs, they need to get kills, because MVP is just going to want to split, and they can do it forever, and having an Aegis doesn't help you against split. Like, maybe if Mineski can try and push or force a fight, Aegis will help them even more. But if the fight's the enemy high ground, they still lose it, I think. And I don't think MVP take a fight anywhere except for at their high ground right now. Like, they'll maybe take a fight where they have numbers, but a 5v5 fight, there's no reason for MVP to feel forced to take those fights.
Move and evade, move and evade.
It's such a suppression of the anti-mage, actually, because anti-mage is a hero that is used to controlling the game by split pushing, actually. And it's like, okay, but now he's on the team that's being split pushed, and sure, he can like get his farm and push the lanes back out, but he's not applying pressure by aggressively pushing into the enemy base, and usually that's one of the major strengths of the hero.
Okay, so MVP, how do you come out safely? Your top lane is being forever pushed in. You're not seeing any wards because, well, at least you got the gem. But there's... wait, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Yeah, at least they've got the gem. But they need to see where MVP is moving. They have to clean out and control their own jungle. As long as they don't, this MVP push will just continue. And over he comes. A quick blink from the Tani. They're not going to get the amplification off. If you sprint forward like that, okay, they're going to glimpse him. You still got BKB available, and in fact, the relocate, they realize because they're chasing him on top, but you're battling backdoor regeneration, but that's not the play. The backdoor regen is not gonna hold up. They get through the range racks and then relocate back up to top, forcing all the TPs out. It looks like the Slider also got picked up on the top lane by QO, so he's down for 64 seconds. And MVP will start the push.
It's a pretty technical decision being made there, because you're relocating out of a gank but also into backdooring, and so then the enemy team goes back and Slaughter gets caught out because his whole team's trying to retreat and stop your push. And it's just like, I think MVP's draft and the way they're playing the game forces Mineski to make a lot of very difficult decisions. I still maintain, even with the Slaughter dead, it's possible that
Cuckoo.
Mineski...
He jumps on Fairby, the BKB will protect Cuckoo and he'll get the last hit. The Ghost Scepter not stopping the Mana Void, but then the toss back and the cleave coming out from the Tani. They'll get rid of the Tombstone so quickly. QO jumping back forward again. He's going to get Orchid, but jumps out of it with the Mana Style. They surround Cuckoo on all sides, throwing in another Ember Spirit. Remember, actually they got the Undying back up. Thanks to buyback, and the Slider will be respawning in a moment. So MVP won't force the
another
issue.
objective goes down. One of the tier 4s went down during that fight.
Even if they kill Cuckoo during that, he still had the Aegis the Immortal. Like, the chance of him being able to have another chance to use that Aegis in the next 2 minutes is pretty low. So Mineski would have been fine if MVP killed him.
Yeah, the thing is, the frustrating part of this game right now for Mineski is that MVP can win the game without doing it. Oh, he's turned anti-mage into a rock, and okay, just for fun.
But anti-mage kept farming, even though he had a Dire Observer Ward down here that saw the Earth Spirit here, he still blinked in. That's how much respect he gives to Dubu.
I think MVP could easily win this game without killing anti-mage ever again. Like, it's not necessary to kill him. And it's on Mineski to force those fights where they can get value out of the BKBs. The Pain's now got Hex. The anti-mage, now Abyssal recently. Like, those fights, Mineski needs to somehow orchestrate them. because MVP can definitely win the game without taking proper like full-on fights.
Oh, they found QO. This could be it for Mineski. They'll go for the Orc. Remember, he's still got the Mana Style dodge out, and they Abyssal Blade the wrong one. So QO is up in the trees. Meanwhile, in the south of France, MVP. They're coming in through the tunnels. Mineski. The backdoor regens enough this time around. No Fevy! Oh, okay. That's not the dream.
Yeah, he needed to BKB, got glimpsed as he was relocating out.
They needed the
Really
creep wave
timing,
inside
actually.
the base. They couldn't kill off the racks through the fortification.
And Cure's being targeted yet again. Hex is up. That short cooldown on Hex.
But they're using QO as bait. That sentry is down. Okay, well, they catch out the Earth Spirit. Overcomes the back wall, only catching both Vash as well as Rior. Rior still able to get that BKB off. Potato's going to wear off as, well, QO. He'll disappear back deeper inside the tree line and MVP will disengage. Losing the Earth Spirit wasn't part of that plan.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it's not going to alter the dynamic of the game. Or Cuckoo could actually catch Cure here.
He's got to get the Abyssal.
Oh. He blinked in as the slide went off, and that's like, if you're busy sliding and someone tries to go on you, you're always going to be able to jump for him.
Easiest kill of that Tiny's life. Wait in the trees, he just went for it.
The problem is that it's a lot easier for MVP to predict Mineski's movements, because they know Mineski needs to pick them off, and so Mineski's going to be chasing them around the map. And that opens up those weak spots where, like, okay, people have just left this lane to chase Cure to that lane. Well, now we can kill the people who are straggling behind in this lane. I think it's just much more difficult to play from this position for Mineski. It has been for the last 10 or 15 minutes, and I think I mean, they're definitely still in the game, they can definitely still win the game, but it's a much more difficult game for them to play.
QO does so much damage. One sleight of fist and the slot is below half of his life. Another one's gonna go. Now they blink crush. They get through the Lincoln Sphere. A QO, Manta, and then straight back out again. And they only go again on Potato. Still that 5-second BKB of his, but 5 seconds is more than enough to protect himself. While Farev in trouble, the Abyssal Blade locked down. Farev gonna go Scepter and run away. He's strong enough to survive up against those Undying minions, but QO locks in Slana once again, and now the fortification Dubu just knocking Farev so far away. We'll go back to the front lines of the fight where QO is bouncing around. They get through the tombstone. Febby getting first hit bashed up by Cuckoo. And now, even just the regular bash going into the Tiny, Cuckoo's able to blink himself away, but Riol put himself in harm's way. He'll go down, and maybe now with the cheese being triggered over on the Queen of Pain, she may even still go down. They bring it from 0 to 100% back down to 0 again. And Mineski, they're on the run. MVP want to go for more. The Boulder only barely missing out in Jules. A solo rank, he comes in through the top. He'll have to walk his way into the mid to take out that tower, but this time around there's no backdoor regeneration and there's no Quap as well as Sala for a long period of time.
Yeah, Quap's about 100 gold away from buyback. Sala's 20 gold away from buyback. They're so close.
They're dead. Jules, oh, Cuckoo bought him the space. The back may remove that space. The Mana Void for Rev. It goes Scepter and Surge away. They can't get close enough. Another rock gets thrown forward, so QO now with the Mana Style out. Sleight of Fist just ripping into Jules once again. There's your buyback. The Slaughter back on the field with the melee ranks in the mid taken out. QO rotating down to the bottom to join up the rest of his creep wave. And this will keep Jules there, which bought the space for solo rank Warrior just move back away from the fight.
This is the only kind of fight that MVP is going to take. That fight that broke up at the top lane, it's because it's an attempt by Mineski on Cure. Queen of Pain uses Hex, Orchid, Ulti, BKB. They don't kill Cure. And then MVP is like, fine, we can turn around. Now we can take a fight because your pop wasted everything and essentially had no effect. Just a really tough situation for Mineski. I don't know how they need to make these pickoffs work. It's like 3 or 4 times in a row they've tried to pick off Cure now and failed to do it. Like, to start with, they need to actually be killing him when they go on him.
And there's our first Lotus Orb. Coming in for the Darkseer. Oh wow, Dupu actually managed to snipe the Courier. Leaves an Observer and a Sentry behind. I actually thought there was a Remnant in there from QO. Obviously it doesn't give vision anymore, but still. Mineski, they're 1 melee and 1 range racks away from facing down Megas. Cuckoo's actually at a point where he can't tank the wave. because he's got no lifesteal.
Ensnared in fire.
And he doesn't have the heart to regenerate.
It's actually a little bit troubling for him.
Oh, they found him. He's still got the BKB. Potentially, MVP could have been a little bit more aggressive to try and force it. But they decided against it.
They want to go on the quap. They always want to go on the quap. It's like they're always setting up to try and catch up Jay, but they've actually been pinged out, so...
They run underneath that observer ward, which has never disappeared. Like, it's almost a full duration observer ward.
Can Mineski really do this?
Oh, they jump in,
get punished.
the blink, avalanche, toss, the damage, the physical, just one more swing to get the ding. Not gonna happen. The blink to TP out, but a little bit further down the lane is Kuka, who's getting a little bit more aggressive over an MVP, but of course, when you get aggressive, MVP becomes ratty. They go in through the bottom, they want to take out the melee racks. They're still battling the fortification. Febby, he needs to get that tether back up again, able to do so. And the rack starts to regenerate very, very quickly. Sonic Wave, QO, the Lotus Orb actually breaks him free of the silence. You still got that jump forward and not bring down QO. Does he want to buy back this one? The back from Forever, very much off target. Sonic Warriors only just bringing down the creep wave, but now their creep wave does enter through the base. So back on bottom lane, QO has walled back. He's attacking the melee ranks. Now the Barcelona rank warrior to go for the range ranks, and this will be Megas against Mineski. One more punch. There it is from the Tiny. They'll toss and kill the anti-mage, who will have buyback, but that Tiny is such a beast. He's going to start cleaving through the Mineski lineup, and let's do something about it. You can hex him, but QO is back in the fight. They've lost the Queen of Pain. There's a dieback on the anti-mage, and MVP, they will hold their #1 position out of the group and qualify for the DotaPit LAN Finals over Mineski, who really royally punished MVP during Game 1. But they got outsplitted by MVP in Game 2.
Yeah, in this game, I gotta say, Mineski did quite well from the mid game in the position they found themselves in, but it was a position which was like, I feel like you have an 80% chance to win as MVP once you get to the later stage of this game. It's just like the tools you have for finishing the game are just far too strong, and Mineski, maybe if they'd made some of those pickoffs successfully on Cure, they would have had a chance, but too many times, committing too many resources, not making the kill, and when they finally did kill him, it was just too little too late.
And that felt like a roller coaster. It really was. Ups and downs. Just look at the graph. That's basically the ride we ran. And MVP, they still come out on top. They will take a 1-1 result. And I believe, do we actually have an updated grid? No, we don't. But don't worry anyway, I can let you know. Mineski will end on 9 points above that of Signature Trust, as well as Fnatic, who locked in at 8 points. 4 points of first departure, and Team 1-2-3 had to pull out. MVP will be your #1 position. In fact, I think we actually just got the update as well. Let me, whoops, that's not the button I wanted to hit. This is the button I want to hit. There you go. 11 points and 9. MVP sitting snugly on top of the DotaPit Season 4 SEA group stage. Did I say group stage? #1 team qualifies through. We've got 2 more groups coming up for Europe, yet to announce the teams for that one. The American qualifiers are going on through the night. You can check out all the coverage right on jointdota.com, or you can, of course, just cover everything. Follow this DotaPit channel. You'll be able to see everything there, or follow all our casters as well over on the Twitters and Facebooks. We always tweet out whenever we're casting. And, of course, follow my co-caster, Scantsor, as well. So, Scant, any last words before we wrap up SEA?
Nah, not. I mean, it's such a classic MVP to like. This is what they do in games. They did in this tournament. They leave it to the last game. You know, they mess around with that first game of the series, and they just like leave it right on the line, and then finally like, okay, fine, we're going to the LAN, guys.
It can never be an easy run for MVP. It never seems easy.
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're going to say thanks for watching everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. And of course, make sure you tune in later tonight. It is Durka who's casting the American part of the DotaPit qualifiers. And we also have, I believe, a D2CL broadcast coming up tonight in about 7 hours time. So tune in for that one. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time.
around. No, can you feel it too? There ain't no stopping now. Feet off the ground, head to the sky. Yeah, wind by my side. You in my vision, directly we collide. You pull me in, I don't resist. Time seems to fly, but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel the hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix, and I wish that
I just keep my eyes shut. Maybe this time it'll be enough.
So I need the dark. Without you here, I wouldn't never see the stars. I'm headed for you. Put on the gas. I'm coming straight at you, no looking back. I'm here, I'm your statue. Your heart is a magnet, I'm coming at you. Girl, you're my target, I'm aiming at you. You're a comet, I'm trying to catch you. We can break any rule they ever taught you. Forget about anything they ever bought you. Cause me and you don't need a lot in this world to get by. Plus you know I got you, you pull me in. I don't resist, time seems to fly but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel the hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix. And I wish that
if I just keep my eyes shut, maybe this time it'll be enough.
So I need the dark. Without you here, I would never see the stars. I'm headed for you. Put on the gas. I'm coming straight at you, no looking back.